remember the Wii Shop channel. It was the host to many things back in the day. I remember having quite a lot of fun with this. So for this episode of James Games, I thought that we'd take a look down memory lane and have a look at what this service had to offer. So let's take a look at this thing. Old loading screen. Feeling really nostalgic for this. The Wii Shop channel has closed. No more games. No more virtual console. So according to this, the Wii Shop channel died on the 30th of January 2019. Coincidentally, this was also my 24th birthday. But I'm not going to make too much of a deal about it. It's just a coincidence. It's time that I look back at the legacy that the channel has got as a tribute. These days, we're all used to seeing classic games being ported over digitally to our games consoles, but back in the 7th gen, this was a big thing. There was Xbox Live for Xbox 360, and on the PS3 there was a PlayStation Store, where you could digitally purchase PS1 games. On the Nintendo Wii, we had the Wii Shop channel. On this service, we could purchase different apps, like an internet channel, and updates on Skyward Sword. Most overrated Zelda game ever, but I don't care. The big draw for me was the Virtual Console, a place where you could purchase games which were first released on old Nintendo consoles. Almost, and I can't stress this enough, almost everything from yesteryear was here. We had NES, SNES and N64 games to keep us all engrossed, but this service took one step further. We got games from non-Nintendo systems, like the Sega Mega Drive and the TurboGrafx-16. Even Commodore 64 stuff made its way onto Virtual Console. If you lived in the bit wars in the early 90s, then you would never have imagined that over 15 years later, Nintendo would hold the key to people replaying all these old games all on one console. I always referred to the Wii as the best console for retro gaming, especially Nintendo games, because what this console was like 5 in 1, because not only did we have NES, SNES and N64 on a virtual console, but you could still put your Diddy GameCube discs inside the console and you could play them as well. So all of those games from all the past systems you could literally play on the Wii. Well, most of the games anyway. And you could also play all 5 games that came out for the Wii itself. The way that the Switch is going with their online service, hopefully we could see something similar one day. But for now, let me tell you about my experience with the Wii Shop channel. Long story short, for some stupid reason, I sold my N64 and I realised that I fucked up. When I heard about the Virtual Console and the ability to play N64 games on the Wii, it was a no-brainer. Once again, I could play classics like Super Mario 64, Ocarina of Time and Lilac Wars. I remember being really excited to play Majora's Mask once again. The one thing that annoyed me though was that we never got that many N64 games on the Virtual Console. Might have been due to emulation limitations of the time. I would have loved to see games like GoldenEye come over or even Donkey Kong 64. Alas, that never happened. With the former, there was licensing issues. Donkey Kong 64 did eventually make it to the Virtual Console, but by this time it was over on the Wii U. And if you've been watching all these episodes of James Games, then you will know full well I never owned a Wii U. The same went for games like Banjo-Kazooie. That was released on the Xbox Live Arcade on the Xbox 360. The reason for that is because that property is now owned by Microsoft. You probably all know the story. Nintendo made up for this with a lot of NES games and plenty of SNES games. The Virtual Console gave me a chance to play some of the older games which I had never played before. It was here where I experienced Super Mario Bros. Properly for the first time. If you watch James Games episode 50, then you will know more about how I thought of this game and how it literally changed everything. I remember getting Donkey Kong Country in around 2008 and I absolutely loved it. Not sure why the trilogy got removed at some point though. That was damn weird. I remember sitting down and finally completing The Legend of Zelda A Link to the Past, just in time for when I did James Games episode 10. I remember at the time I was finishing college. Those were really good times. I still have a save file from 2007, 100% completion of Super Mario 64. It was the first time that I did it, and that is something which I will always remember achieving and being proud of as a 12-year-old at the time. As you can tell, the Virtual Console has actually given me some amazing memories. I still even have some of these. I remember using pound coins to scratch the cards inside in order to get the download code for a game that I wanted to play. It was just so good. A great time for me as a gamer. Now, obviously, things are different. Technology has moved on. The time came to say goodbye to the Wii Shop channel on the 30th of January 2019 because, well, no one is really playing Nintendo Wii anymore. It is sad, but it did serve its purpose at its time. The Wii Shop channel may not have been the best service for backwards compatibility because you're talking about the same era as when we had Xbox Live, and that was a huge, big deal back in the day, especially if you was an Xbox Live Gold member. But for what it's worth, for me anyway, the Wii Shop channel served its purpose. The Virtual Console was a great thing for me because it actually helped me appreciate more of the retro side of gaming, like the early 1990s and part of the 1980s as well. On a final note, all I can say is that I was glad that I was around when the Wii Shop channel was a thing.